All right, let's talk about that moment you get your lab results back. Ever just stare at that page, feeling like you're trying to read some kind of secret code? Well, today we're cracking that code. We're going to turn that confusing sheet of numbers into something that actually makes sense.
You know what I'm talking about. You get that notification, you open it up, and it's just a wall of letters and numbers. It can feel pretty intimidating, almost like you need a special decoder ring just to figure out what's going on with your own body. So let's reframe this. I want you to stop thinking of it as a medical document and start thinking of it as your body's own dashboard. Just like the one in your car, it's got all the gauges and warning lights you need to see how everything's running under the hood. So let's get you in the driver's seat. First up on our tour is the filtration system. Think about your car's oil filter. Its job is to clean out all the gunk. Well, your kidneys do the exact same thing for your blood, working around the clock to filter out waste. They are your body's master purifiers.
So the main gauge we look at for the kidneys is something called serum creatinine. It's pretty simple, really. Every time you use your muscles, they create this waste product. Your kidneys are supposed to grab it from your blood and get rid of it. As you can see, the normal range is usually somewhere between 0.6 and 1.2. So back to our dashboard. If that creatinine number starts creeping up high, it's like a warning light telling you that the filter might be getting clogged. It means waste isn't being cleared out efficiently, and that's a signal your doctor is definitely going to pay attention to. All right, from the filter, let's head over to the engine room, the liver. I mean, this organ is an absolute workhorse. It does hundreds of essential jobs, from building proteins to cleaning out toxins. If your body's a car, the liver is, without a doubt, the engine. Now, for the engine, we have two really common gauges, these enzymes called ALT and AST. And here's the key difference. AST is found in the liver, yeah, but it's also in your heart and muscles. ALT, on the other hand, is almost exclusively found in the liver. That makes it a much more specific red flag for liver health. And this is literally your check engine light. When liver cells get stressed out or damaged, they start to leak these enzymes into your blood. So when those ALT and AST levels go up, it's your body's way of saying, hey, might want to take a look at the engine. And here's a really cool piece of medical detective work. Doctors use a simple formula called the R value to figure out what kind of engine trouble it is. They compare your ALT to another enzyme called ALP. You can think of that one as being related to the exhaust pipe. The ratio helps them figure out if the issue is with the engine itself, the liver cells, or with the pipes that drain it. Okay, every engine needs two things, fuel and a way to get it where it needs to go. For our bodies, that's where our blood and our lipids come into play. We're talking about the whole system that moves oxygen and energy around. And the star of this show is hemoglobin. The best way to picture it is as a massive fleet of oxygen delivery trucks. These little proteins are packed inside your red blood cells, and their only job is to pick up oxygen from your lungs and drop it off to every single cell in your body. But it's not just about how many trucks you have, it's also about their quality. That's where a number called RDW comes in. It basically measures how much your red blood cells vary in size. A nice, low RDW means your fuel is consistent and high quality. But a high RDW means there's a lot of variation, and that can be a super early warning for things like an iron or B12 deficiency. And of course, we can't talk fuel without talking cholesterol. We need it for sure, but too much of the bad kind, LDL, acts just like sludge building up in your fuel lines. Over time, that can clog things up, which is exactly why your doctor keeps such a close eye on it. So we've covered the mechanicals. Let's move on to the electrical system. A car is just a hunk of metal without its battery and wiring, right? Well, your body's electrical grid is run by electrolytes, minerals like sodium and potassium that carry tiny electrical charges. Sodium is a huge one, and with sodium, it is all about balance. Too little, hyponatremia, and your signals can misfire. Too much, hypernatremia, and it puts a huge strain on the system. Both of these mess with the crucial electrical signals that make your nerves and muscles work. Now, you might hear low sodium and just think, eat more salt. But it's rarely that simple. It's almost always an issue of fluid balance. As you can see here, the cause could be anything from losing too much fluid to retaining too much fluid because of another condition. The context is everything.
And when that sodium balance gets thrown off, believe me, your body's dashboard is going to light up. It might start with things like a headache or nausea, but if it gets severe, it can get much more serious. These are not warning lights you ever want to ignore. The other major player in the electrical system is potassium, and its balance is absolutely critical for the rhythm of your heart. You see, both low and high potassium can lead to serious problems with your heart's electrical conduction. It's so important that any big changes are a major red flag. So, we've taken a quick tour of the body's dashboard. We've looked at the filter, the engine, the fuel lines, and the electrical circuits. So what's the big takeaway when you get your next lab report? How do you read the road ahead? Let's do a super quick review of those main warning lights. Creatinine is high, you're checking the filtration system. ALT is high, that's a check engine light for your liver. RDW is high, that's a sign to check your fuel quality. And if sodium or potassium are off, you've got an issue in the electrical system. Now, this is probably the single most important point of all. This dashboard is a guide. It's not a diagnosis. These numbers are just clues, pieces of a much, much bigger puzzle that includes your health history and, most importantly, how you actually feel. And that's why the most important step is always to talk to the professional mechanic, your doctor. They're the expert who can put all the pieces together, figure out what the dashboard is really trying to tell you, and map out the right road forward. By understanding these basics, you're not just a passenger on this journey anymore. You're an informed co-pilot. Your health data tells a powerful story, and now you've got the tools to start reading it.